Hi, good evening, friends. Myself, Vaibhav Maitreya. I'm your host for the evening, and today we have with us Miss Nehaa Goyal. She will guide you today to your limitless opportunities and show you the path to break negative karmic patterns using ancient tools and divinities such as DNA Astrologer, tarot reading, numerology, and she's an empowerment coach. She has worked more than 15 years in the corporate world, and at the peak of which she made the decision towards doing the work she does today. Thus, the reading and coaching she offers are realistic, applicable to hand daily life pressures, situations, and feelings. So, Neha, please tell us your journey from a media person to an empowerment coach.
Sure. Namaskar, Vaibhavji, and I welcome everybody who is viewing this video now. So, my journey from corporate world to empowerment coaching is mostly based on what they also call popularly as finding your life purpose, and which in my work, a lot of people ask me to. So, this is something which I had interest in since a very long time. Now that I look back at it, I would say almost since birth, since I gathered consciousness, I was very interested in this question why, what they call curiosity. So, depending upon what was available for me at different points in life, I started to ask these questions and got various answers. Slowly and steadily, I moved towards having an answer to this in the occult science, which is what tarot, numerology, and DNA astrology, or for that matter, astrology, which is like a huge ocean, is. So while I was in my corporate job, which was also required at the time that I was doing it, because it gave me a sense of putting myself out there, I was in sales and hospitality, learning oration, and my basic, I would say, qualification comes from there, which is what I utilize today in the kind of work that I do in helping out people because I understand the realistic problems, situations which people go through, which working professionals go through. So there came a point in my corporate career at the peak of it where I realized that no matter how hard I work in it, no matter how high up I go in it, I would still be doing the same thing. And that same thing, which was selling a media space or selling a hospitality space, till sometime it served me. I used to find my passion in it, but towards the end of it, I started to, I wouldn't say lose interest, but started to find my passion in what I'm doing today. So there came a point in that career of mine where I took a total break from it. In the beginning, it was I thought that I'll take a break, and so I took. What looked like that I was taking a break was actually something which was really full time pushing me into what I'm doing today, which is, as you said,
Mhm.
empowerment coaching and DNA astrology, which is very different from, it is a part of Vedic astrology, but a very different take on astrology, tarot and numerology. And what I realized was that with the background that I come from, all of this I was able to put in a manner where instead of where my main aim was to empower people and find their inner truth, find their inner strength, rather than using it in a way where they lose their strength. So that was, in short, my journey of the switch from the corporate world to what I'm doing today.
So, Neha, what inspired you to get into this?
Well, as they say, sir, that the best things that you get to know are through personal experience. So, as I said, that very early in my life, certain situations happened which made me very curious to know the primordial question of why me. And I when I started to look around for the answers, I was not satisfied or comfortable with what other people were telling me. So I thought, let me find it out myself, and which is where I started to learn all these divinities, astrology, tarot, numerology, and started to find my own answer. So basically, to find myself and to empower myself was the inspiration which took me towards this path, which I'm very happy doing as of now.
Great, good to know about this. Tell me if I'm not wrong, numerology is based on lucky numbers. So, what kind of changes are possible with your guidance if we look at the numbers only?
So numerology, sir, is not just based on lucky numbers, which is again a myth that I have been breaking through such channels as yours. Numerology is basically based on a general fact that everything that you look around is based on numbers. We have two eyes and not one. There's a purpose. If you look at our own body, we have certain things which are two, certain things which is one, certain things such as hair, which is innumerable, which would depend from person to person, which means that there is some intelligence based on numbers which has been used in creation, and we being a part of creation. So numerology is a way of demystifying what is it that makes us. So which in numerology we generally look at through the name and date of birth, because date of birth is something that you can't change. These days people do change their name, but the date of birth is fixed. And to look at your date of birth in a way to let you know that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what works for you, what are your likes, your dislikes. Most of the times when I work with people, they themselves don't know their own potential, right? What works for them, what doesn't work for them. So science, or let's say divinity such as numerology, helps at a very basic level to help them understand themselves, and then how being themselves, the vibration that they exude with the numbers which are influencing them, will bring about or not bring about certain things in their life. So demystifying that is what numerology is, based entirely on numbers. And I don't know if the viewers can let me know if they've heard of something which is known as sacred geometry, which consists of things as the Fibonacci sequence, or certain series. The science on which pyramids were based, or when you look at a beautiful flower, you see the inside of it is made on perfect symmetry.
Right.
The ratios, golden ratio, and things like those, all of that is used in making us as well. When
Mm-hmm.
I was learning numerology, I was surprised to see that how most of us are very proportionate. We have the ratio of our body to our face is almost same for everyone, right?
True.
So,
True.
which means what? Again, there's this higher intelligence which is involved in making us, in us. And as I
Mhm.
said, numerology is a way of demystifying that, and understanding ourselves through these numbers.
Very interesting. So, do you find any connect between science and occult science?
This is a question which I'm often asked, and definitely uh, there is a there is a connect. It has been proven time and again by the very scientists as well. In fact, if you would be aware, um, outside NASA, they have built this huge statue of Nataraja. Nataraja is the dancing Shiva,
Correct.
who actually denotes the dance of creation. So,
Hmm.
so even though that there is a proven connection between science and what we today call the occult science, but where I come from, my submission would be that everything doesn't have to be proven by science. I mean, science is still at a stage where they're still uncovering things. So just
Hmm.
because from a human science perspective, we haven't yet uncovered it, doesn't mean that it's not true, or doesn't mean that it is not happening. In fact, the
Hmm.
beauty about truth is that it is not waiting for you to be proven. It is there, it is happening. So where there is a connection between science and occult science, I will not kill myself to find that connection.
Interesting. So, tell me, how much time do you usually spend to support your clients?
See, it depends from clients to client. Normally, when it comes to the kind of work that I do with each person, just the way our own human brain works, I do not stretch a session beyond 45 minutes, because
45.
there's only so much that I can give or somebody can take at a stretched period of time. So, keeping
Okay.
that into consideration, I would say 45 to 50 minutes per session is what I spend with the client. And also, because most of my clients are also working professionals, right? So, as I said, that my idea is to bring realism to the day to day things which they face when they go out there in the world. They also don't have a lot of time to spend. Like, I mean, I unless I'm doing a retreat, unless I'm doing like a full day workshop, which
Mhm.
are of course pre-planned. I would say 45 minutes in a session. But somebody who is going for something like an empowerment coaching or an inner child healing session with me, my minimum number of sessions is two. And I suggest, just because of the way the brain works to create a habit, to do it at the same day every week. So that is
Okay.
a kind of commitment which I often pre-discuss with my clients, because brain understands habits, it understands repetition. So that ways it just works. But per session, not more than 45 to 50 minutes.
Okay. You are also into DNA astrology, Neha. What is DNA astrology? We never heard about this before.
Yes, DNA astrology is a it's an ancient but a relatively newly reintroduced take on Vedic astrology. It is a
Mhm.
way of analyzing the chart in a way where, through looking at the chart, I will be able to demystify for you what are the generational curses, generational blocks that you carry in your DNA, due to the lineage that you are born in, and which are presenting itself to you as suffering, or a recurring pattern which you are not able to break, relationship issue, financial issues, and things like those. So it is to go to the root of the cause of the surface, even at times a surface level problem that one might be facing. So let's say, for example, somebody comes to me saying that they are not able to, no matter how many jobs they've changed. I mean, I was just doing a reading in the today afternoon, so it's fresh in my mind that this person was very talented, but no matter how many jobs this person changed, they landed up attracting such a boss जिनकी उनसे बनती ही नहीं थी. Like they were never able to get along with their bosses. And even before he had said that, we had pre-discussed that he had something which is known as a Sun karmic registry, which I was able to see through DNA astrology. And Sun is leadership, so it was obvious in the chart that, and due to the other placements, I was able to see that, well, where was that problem coming from? Why was that problem coming? And then providing them astrological and behavioral remedies to rectify it, such that they are able to mindfully burn their karmas. Does that
Mindfully
help?
burn your. Can you explain this more? I mean, we really need to understand more on this. This
Yes.
seems to be a very interesting subject.
Yes, it is. So karmas are, any karma is based on the policy of cause and effect, which means that if there is a seed sown for it, there will be an effect of it. Uh, it that the effect cannot be ignored. And karma or karam means that, if there is an action which has been put in, there will definitely be an effect. So certain actions that we might have done in some past life or in some past might have been good, so the effect of it will be good. If there were bad karmas that we did, because our soul has also been at a stage of evolution, then the effect will not be so great. So there is a spectrum of karmas, which mean good, bad, ugly, gray, orange, red. बहुत सारे तरीके के होते हैं. Now, the good karmas we are enjoying, such as having a roof over our top, having a good relationship with our parents, financially
Mhm.
being stable, having the time to do and listen to this, let's say, even this life. So, जो good karmas होते हैं, they normally do not capture our attention because we are enjoying them. There is no problem in it. What captures our attention is the effect of a not so great karma, which comes out as suffering, right? Which comes out as maybe a disease or a financial disease or a relationship issue. उसकी हमें remedy चाहिए होती है. That's what we are, those are the kind of um, areas of our life which catch our attention, right? So
Is this
those are the
also linked
karmas
with
that,
previous birth? Is this
sorry?
also linked with, is this also linked with your previous birth karma?
Absolutely. Previous births, our lineage, etc. Everything is taken into account for this.
Uh-huh.
Because, see, to be very honest, sir, nobody can physically go and peep into, our previous births. But let's look at it from a DNA point of view. The wisdom of our ancestral DNA is definitely passed on to us. That is science. You asked this question in the beginning: how relevant
Right.
is science? So this is where the relevance of science comes into picture. So just say
Mhm.
so what I was trying to say is the good points that we have picked up from our lineage, we don't tend to worry about it. But if there is something not so great that we have picked up as a lineage in terms of our behavior, in terms of our confidence, in terms of our attitude, that is what worries us. So, as an empowerment coach matched with DNA astrology, those are the
Mhm.
areas of your life which I can show you a mirror of, and also suggest how you can start converting them into your strengths, whether you can convert them into your strengths or not. मतलब कई ऐसे कर्म होते हैं कि जो हमें we have to suffer. There is no second thoughts about it. So best is
Mhm.
to accept. "Oh, this is how it is going to happen. I will have to just surrender to it." So these are the kind of things which I'm able to help the client unravel.
So, what is the most critical case till now you have seen? I mean, uh, was it something related to the previous birth, or was it related to this birth karma? The
You
most
know,
critical.
so previous birth के जो karmas होते हैं, prints of that definitely show in this life also, maybe in childhood concerns,
Uh-huh.
or that has spread. They're spread throughout our life. So it's not that if there is somebody who doesn't even believe in previous birth. By the way, if somebody doesn't believe in previous birth, then astrology in itself is not meant for them, because astrology is held on the fact that life is cyclic and we keep taking birth in terms of our evolution. So, coming back to your question, the most critical case, one thing that I would say is that drowning in 20 feet of water is is equal to drowning in 6 feet of water. वो ड्राउनिंग ड्राउनिंग कहलाता है, वो ड्राउनिंग ही फील होता है.
Uh,
राइट. So for the person who is coming to me, for that person, the person is drowning. So उसके लिए वो ही point critical है. Right,
True.
isn't that true?
No, no,
uh,
absolutely.
but one thing now that you ask, एक चीज जो मुझे याद आ रही है, that there was this client who had come to me, and the client mentioned that this person has a body ache, like an intense body ache. Itna body ache hota hai that the person feels like unless somebody beats that part,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps aching. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
and this, by the way, the client told me much later when we were in the middle of the discussion. Before that, what I was telling this client was that the client had a Mars negative karmic registry. Okay,
Okay.
which meant that maybe in some past life he had misused his power, and maybe he was somebody who was in authority, somebody who was doing a Martian duty, such as maybe in police, or one of those Martian related activities, where he had whatever yoni that person was, he or she doesn't matter, used to just for pleasure beat up prisoners.
Oh,
Yeah. और
okay.
बीट अप जस्ट बिकॉज उसको घर का फ्रस्ट्रेशन निकालना होता था या उसकी लाइफ का फ्रस्ट्रेशन, वो अननेसेसरली लोगों को मारता था, खून निकालते थे उनके, मासेस ब्लड. And while I was telling this to the person, ki there is a possibility. I mean, obviously, as I said, that I haven't gone to their past life and seen it, but this is a possibility. That's when the person told me, you know what, ma'am, today the pain that the reason why I've come to you because of this pain is such that if unless somebody beats that part up, मेरे को rest ही नहीं मिलता.
Oh,
So this person then later told me that just knowing this has given me some sort of a relief, as if now this pain that I'm going through makes sense.
nice. So this is certainly has signs in it. Tell me, is one advice, Neha, you will give it to the youth who would like to practice this, whether numerology, tarot, or DNA astrology. What will be your advice to the beginners, the newcomers?
Vaibhavji, thank you so much for this question, because because as a youth myself, with the and especially with the country that we all are born in, which has such a rich culture. We have such a rich culture. Indian culture, I'm sorry, I'm not that I'm diverting, but I'll tell you how it is interrelated. Indian culture is so diverse, and and its ancient shastras and the Vedic wisdom has answers to everything. So, when I started to do neurolinguistic programming, which is basically, it is a way of using our language in a way that we can train our brain to work for us. And also because I had interest in ancient wisdom, in Shastras, in Vedas, what I realized was कि ये जो NLP में ऐसे करके बेच रहे हैं courses के through, ये तो हमारे शास्त्रों में लिखा है. This is
Mhm.
not something new for us. So, for every Indian out there, I just want to say that you have this latent information in your DNA. Just connect with it and make use of it instead of thinking कि ये pseudo science है, ये तो क्या है, ये old belief systems हैं. If you really kuredo it, if you really dig in it, you will find out so much wisdom that our new age science उसके सामने you know वो बोलेगा कि ये जो सारी चीजें आज की डेट के हमें आती है ना, like depression and insecurities and losing our power, and you know why that is, right? Because our school system was such that we were meant to be followers rather than leaders. And today,
Mhm.
in the day and age of startup, and also because Corona has really pushed us to become a lot self sufficient, it's almost as if our personality is resisting what we have been taught. So let's make use of this energy. And instead of
Mhm.
utilizing your past, where you are born, as something to be ashamed of, start using it to empower yourself, just as I did, and just as I utilize it in my work. And trust me, there is no question that you will not have an answer for. So that's
So it's
my
just a
suggestion
matter
today.
so according to you, it's just a matter of exploring your roots and exploring, what is hidden in the previous shastras and all.
Yeah, and this is for Indians. There is this element in astrology which is known as there's a graha, a plan, not a planet, but a graha, known as Ketu, which is basically the roots. So wherever you are born, if you're somebody who's born outside of India, uh, let's say in the US, go back to your roots. Just go back and connect with your roots. What were the traditions which were followed over there? And the truth about those traditions, not the traditions that we know of as today. Orthodoxness nahi. Uska root cause kya hai? Why are we doing what are we doing? Suddenly your brain will open up, and you will start finding faith in who you are. And that
And
will empower you like how?
very logical explanation, Neha. And I really want we should talk more with you, but there are questions coming in live as we were expecting from our viewers. So first of all, there are few people who have only shared their date of birth, but they have not shared any question. The very
Hmm.
first question, which has come from Jeet Bishwas, his date of birth is 24th November 1998. Time is 7:15 a.m.
Sir,
and
please go
place.
a bit slow. I'm taking down. I'm
Yeah,
creating the
yeah,
chart as we talk. Yeah. So
yes.
what's the date of birth?
24th November 1998.
1 second. Okay.
And time of birth is 7:15 a.m. Place is Nagaland, Dimapur.
1 second.
So
Assam.
to
Okay,
yeah,
Dimapur. Nagaland.
Nagaland, Nagaland. It's Dimapur, Nagaland.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So his question is, what I should do to clear my UPSC and to become a IFS officer. That's the question.
So as I had mentioned that this is, I mean, over here, I don't encourage predictions, and instead of the question that the person is asked, I would like to give them the missing link to their empowerment, if that works.
Right. Yeah, sure. So I will request all our viewers, don't expect a prediction over here, but we can tell you what is to be done to empower your energies. So
Yeah.
how to bring that positivity in your life, in your personal and professional career. So please ask
Yep.
questions accordingly. Don't expect a prediction.
Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, seems so. I mean, I can only see questions coming in. We cannot hear them, so it's just that we can see the messages coming in, and there are a lot
Okay.
of people sharing their date of birth without asking questions. So accordingly, yeah. So Jeet Bishwas is saying, "Okay, ma'am."
So,
So people are agreeing to it also.
not that they have a choice. Just one second. I'm opening up the chart and
Yeah. I request our viewers also to mention, what is the concern area, what kind of energies they expect, so that Neha can accordingly answer. You are
so
sharing your
no,
time.
so sir, I would suggest that instead of them asking question, I tell them something about them because that's how
Oh,
it
great.
will work. Okay,
Yeah,
so the details that Jeet gave to me, one thing that I have to say is that he wants to be, and Jeet, you can let me know in the comments. He
yeah,
wants to be a leader in whatever he does, right? He wants to, however, that in him brings out certain elements of comparison, certain elements of jealousy as well, which if he works upon, he will be able to rise in life. And for that, what he needs to do on an immediate basis is balance his emotions. Instead of making life and a sense of achievement about emotions, make it about joy, make it about finding, like, am I enjoying it? Not from a perspective of, will I become a king in it? Start looking at it from a perspective of, am I enjoying it? Is this something which I do and I'm able to drop that sense of comparing myself or my potential to someone else? Or it doesn't matter that if this someone else is doing better in what I want to do, but however, I will continue on my path. If that is the stream which you will go ahead with, you will definitely achieve something in life. You're very good at oration. You are somebody who has the passion of going deep into things. So while you do have that passion of going deep into things, utilize this energy into going into something which is investigative rather than investigating your own emotions and people. Which investigating people will make you averse unless that is your profession. And otherwise it's a you do have a potential of rising up in life in terms of gaining fame. Just be a bit careful about making it about your ego and comparing it to others and finding your joy in it, especially when it comes in relationships. I hope that helps you. Does it make sense, Jeet?
yeah. Keith has acknowledged what you've just mentioned, and there is one in continuation. He has asked, want to do something for the stray animals. Okay, so he
Hmm.
wants to do something for the stray animals.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, his mast is placed in, yeah, if he does something for the stray animals, it can bring him not just joy, it can also bring him gains. And in fact, he will be more like a warrior for stray animals. I can totally see his passion lies over there. Uh, you have a go ahead. These are the kind of things which in fact, which goes for everybody. We look at animals and stray animals from our sixth house. I know it gets a bit technical, but just to help you understand, to be in service of anybody who is requiring that service can only benefit you. It can never harm you. So absolutely go ahead and do it. And Jeet, आपका तो वहाँ पे passion like करता है. You want to put your energy over there. Go for it.
Great. So, guidance for you, Jeet. Another person we have is Nitin Mishra. His date of birth is 16th October 1999. I'm
One second.
repeating, yeah,
1 second.
16th October 1999. Place of birth
Can
is
I
New Delhi.
also, in the meanwhile, can I also request people who are over here to get in touch with me on my social media handles?
Yes,
Instagram has Neha Goyal, which is NEHAAGOYAL, because on a daily basis, I share tips over there. And plus, if you want to take any personal consultations from me, you will find all the details over there as well. But
Yes,
anyways, consultation or no consultation, do join my Insta handle Neha Goyal. Neh
you
double
will get
A G O.
more guidance, people,
Hanji.
on
So,
a daily.
sir, what's the date? 16th October.
1999, place of birth is New Delhi, Nitin Mishra.
1 second. And what is the time?
He has not mentioned his time.
I will need the time, sir, for an astrological.
Nitin, yeah, Nitin, please share your time if you have a time with you. In the meanwhile, we'll take the second person, which is Ajay Parashar. Ajay Parashar, his date of birth is 23rd Jan 1969.
Okay, 1 second. 23rd Jan.
1969,
Okay.
and 8 a.m. is the time, and place of birth is New Delhi.
23rd Jan, you said, right?
23rd Jan 1969.
Hmm. Okay.
Time of
Very
birth is
similar.
time is 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Nitin, what I want to ask you is that would you say that you often face concerns in terms of you saying something and people understanding something totally different, which often leads to them thinking and believing that you have some ego issues where you were just trying to make your point? That is one. Second, does it often happen that when you pick up, when there is uh, any festive thing or anything to celebrate which happens around you, right after that or right during that, there is a certain less of a certain sense of a loss of joy where you feel कि अरे ये celebration भी मतलब बेकार में मुझे पंगे ही दे के जा रही हैं, that kind of a thing. My suggestion to you will be accept the things the way they are instead of trying to find out कि अगर ये और होता तो मैं ज्यादा खुश रहता. Accept what is. That will bring in joy into your life. That will increase that Venusian element into you, and it will also help you have better relationships in life with the opposite sex. So, one, let me know in the comment section if that holds true for you, and second, all the best.
So Nitin, all the best to you. If you are listening to us, I have not seen your acknowledgement on what Neha just mentioned about you. Uh, Ajay Parashar is asking the question. Uh, yeah, I think he was asking whether it was for me or for Nitin. It was for Nitin, Ajay.
For the person whose date of birth is 23rd Jan 1969,
That's
8
Ajay.
a.m.
Ajay Parashar. Yeah,
Okay,
Ajay
so
Parashar.
that's Ajay then.
Yeah. So you talked about Ajay.
Yes, I mean date of birth 23rd Jan 1969, 8 a.m.
Yeah, that was Ajay. Ajay
Yeah,
Parashar.
yeah.
Okay, another person we have with us from Jhansi, Uttar
Hmm.
Pradesh, Vishal Bedar, and
Hmm.
his date of birth is 10th June 1983.
19 what?
1983,
Okay,
and time of birth is 2:10 p.m.
okay.
So I request to all our viewers that
And
we'll
what's
only
the
take
place?
two to four questions. And anybody wants to connect with Neha, as she mentioned, you can connect with her on her Instagram. And she has been sharing tips on her Instagram on a daily basis. So that may add, a lot of value to what you are asking online right now. So Vishalji, just have patience. Neha ji is just looking at your chart.
Sir, I need the place for
Jhansi,
Vishal.
Jhansi, Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh.
Okay. One very flat answer for Vishalji is that you have a very sharp mind. You have analytics right over here. You can look at a thing and figure out कि इसमें क्या नहीं काम करेगा. What needs to go from this to make it even more beautiful. So you have that eye for beauty. Please tell me in the comment section if that's true, if that's how you feel.
विशाल जी
Is
जो
this person?
या ही इज देयर ऑनलाइन राइट नाउ। विशाल जी जो नेहा जी ने बोला, अगर आप उससे सहमत हैं तो प्लीज हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइए।
So my suggestion to you further to that would be that इसी information को, instead of making people averse to this, because not everybody wants to be as perfect as you expect them to be, drop that expectation from others, and you can start having beautiful relationships. You can use the same language in a way where it starts serving you rather than being of disservice to you. That is what I would suggest.
तो विशाल जी एग्री कर रहे हैं। विशाल हैज रिप्लाइड यस मैम, यू आर राइट, सो
हाँ जी।
यू आर बैक देयर।
And secondly, आप आप कुछ किसी ऐसे काम में which requires oration, which requires communication, writing या ऐसा कुछ?
विशाल जी आप किसी कम्युनिकेशन प्रोफेशन में हैं या राइटिंग जैसे प्रोफेशन में हैं, नेहा जी जानना चाह रही हैं, तो आप हमें कमेंट में बताइए ताकि हम इसको डिस्कशन को आगे लेके जा पाए। इतने
क्योंकि
विशाल जी का
अगर
जवाब।
then over a
जी
period of time you can get into it and that will work out well for you. But वो थोड़ा आपका it's also one of those zones which feels like out there for you. थोड़ा आपका discomfort zone भी है वो, but that is something which your soul will eventually pull you towards. Your comfort zone is घर आपका, आपकी मम्मी,
ही
कंफर्ट
सेइंग
ऑफ द हाउस, उससे
ही
थोड़ा निकल
सेइंग
के
या ही सेइंग हम लेखन करते हैं।
चलिए, वेरी गुड। ठीक है, तो उसको ही आगे बढ़ाइए, वो ही आपका आपकी सोल का ट्रू डिजायर है, उसको आप आगे लेके जाइए। ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर दैट।
जी, तो विशाल जी आई होप आपको जवाब मिल गया, आपको गाइडेंस मिली। नेक्स्ट एक डेट ऑफ बर्थ है, इसके बाद हम दो और बस ज्यादा लोगों को हम नहीं वो कर पाएंगे बिकॉज टाइम इज लिमिटेड। मंजरी
हाँ जी।
गुप्ता है नेक्स्ट। 15 जनवरी 1965 इनका डेट ऑफ बर्थ है।
15th
जनवरी 1965
1965। वन सेकंड, मैंने
एंड
1965।
इज दिल्ली, टाइम इज 6:15 AM।
सर कैन यू टेल मी द टाइम अगेन प्लीज?
6:15 AM दिल्ली।
अच्छा, ये सारे मोस्टली मेरे पास सन ऊपर वाले आ रहे हैं। अच्छा, दिल्ली।
आपके व्यूअर्स जो है वो मिलेनियल से ज्यादा जो है ना 60s 70s 80s वाले हैं।
हाँ जी। इज़न्ट दैट अमेजिंग?
एब्सोल्युटली।
ओके, तो ये जो मैम है, इनका ब्रेन तो बहुत शार्प है, मंजरी जी का। एंड एक सेकेंड। शी इज अ वुमन हु इज वेरी nurturing. She likes nurturing people. And एक सेकेंड। इनकी लाइफ में ये होता है कभी कभी, एंड मंजरी जी इफ यू देयर यू वुड नो दैट, कि बहुत ना सडन अप्स एंड डाउन्स होने लगते हैं। लाइक इट्स नॉट दैट लोगों के दूसरों के नहीं होते, बट आपके बहुत सडनली हो जाता है। सब कुछ अच्छा जा रहा होता है, सडनली कुछ हो जाएगा। एंड डिजायर्स बहुत है। आपको ये लगता है, मतलब अगर कोई एक वो, शायद मैंने ये भी नोटिस किया है कि एक लाइफ में मेरे पास नॉर्मली एक जैसे लोग आते हैं, बट इट्स गुड बिकॉज दैट इज द कम्युनिटी energy which is getting attracted. Manjari ji, for you, if you utilize the same brain that you have, which is excellent, which wants to live a life of ease. In fact, you provide that ease to other people. But दूसरे लोग ना थोड़े से आपसे इसलिए अवर्स हो जाते हैं क्योंकि वो बोलते हैं या सोचते हैं कि Why is she smiling at me? उसको लगता क्या है कि वो क्या है, जो कि आपका इंटेंशन नहीं है, but that's what
Yeah.
they think. So थोड़े से अगर आप अपने एक्सप्रेशंस पे काम करो ना, तो you will go a long way in attracting beauty into your life. And थोड़ा सा अगर आप वो सेंस ऑफ कंपैरिजन की, एंड ऑल्सो कि अगर ये मेरे पास होगा तभी मैं खुश होंगी, क्योंकि क्या
Yeah.
होगा ना आपके साथ, you think that, let's say, when you will have a luxury car you'll be happy, but the fact is that when you will have the luxury car, then you would want something else. उस लग्जरी कार में अगर ये वाला सीट होता तो बेटर रहता. तो
Yeah.
थोड़ा ऐसा भी है, दिमाग जहां हमारा चलता है कि ये होता तो बेटर होता, ये होता तो बेटर रहता, which is where your downfall is. Your empowerment lies in enjoying things the way you are or they are. आपके लिए मैं एक हैक देती हूँ. एवरी मॉर्निंग आप मिरर के सामने जाओ एंड अपने आप को जितना अप्रिशिएट कर सकते हो उतना अप्रिशिएट करो. एक्सेप्ट योर सेल्फ with all that you have, all the flaws, all the positive, all the negative, and stop believing in what other people tell you about you. You will grow. Tell me if you resonate with this, Manjari ji.
Very, very positive suggestion. And please respond if this is true. You need to practice this, Manjari ji. I think if she's listening, we'll get to know. Can we take the another last one?
Sure,
Neha,
sure, sir.
yeah,
Anji.
there is one millennial which who has joined. His date of birth is 4th December.
Okay.
You have not shared your year of birth, my friend. 4th December 2000. Okay. 4th December 2000. He is from Bihar.
Okay.
And the time of birth is.
Bihar, UP, right?
नहीं, Bihar is Bihar. Bihar state. Bihar is not UP.
यहाँ पे मेरी बिहार, नहीं तो, इसमें बिहार, मध्य प्रदेश और यूपी बता रहा है ऐसा. नहीं, सिटी
Bihar.
कौन सी है उनकी?
Uh, Mr. Chauhan, you need to tell me the city in Bihar. So, if you can help me with that. Time of birth is 1:05 p.m. दोपहर के 1 बजे. और मंजरी जी ने बोला गुड. और टाइम 1:05 p.m. मिस्टर चौहान ने बताया. प्लेस इन बिहार, मिस्टर चौहान, इफ यू कैन टेल, that will be great. Vaishali. So he's saying the place of birth is Vaishali in Bihar.
Okay.
It's Vaishali.
Vaishali. Time is 1:05 p.m.
हाँ, 1:05 p.m.
What does Manjari ji mean by good?
She has accepted your suggestion, it seems. There's so many questions coming in. Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed to see.
4th December 2000. Okay.
Yeah.
ठीक है. आप अपने प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ से दूर रहते हो या रहना चाहते हो? आपका पीस वैसे दूर रहने में ही है. दिस
Okay.
इज फॉर चौहान जी.
हाँ, KK Chauhan.
हाँ.
He's staying away from his place. He's
ओके.
staying
हाँ.
in Delhi right now. तो आपका जो चार्ट है वो ये कहता है कि आप अपनी जगह से दूर रहेंगे तो ही आपके लिए अच्छा है.
राइट. एंड आपको अपना जो ये जो एक इम्प्रेशनेबल माइंड है ना, सी यू आर अ यंगस्टर, सो व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल यू इज दैट develop your brain power, develop your mind in such a manner that you do not get impressioned by others. The thing about water is, the thing about emotions is कि जिसके साथ आप रहोगे आप उसके जैसे हो जाओगे, आप adaptable हो जाओगे. सबसे पहले तो अपनी कंपनी बहुत अच्छा रखो. You know, the more you will seek answers from others, that's not the problem. But the problem is, who do you seek these answers from? So be very particular and very sure of the company that you keep. You're very intuitive. आपको परे की विद्या, मतलब आपको कई बार मैसेजेस मिलते हैं परे से, लाइक आपको, हाउ डू आई से, इंट्यूशन, हाउ डू आई डिस्क्राइब दैट, सो समटाइम्स यू हैव दैट फीलिंग कि ये सही है, ये सही नहीं है, उस पर ज्यादा रिलाई करो। अपनी कंपनी, मतलब यूर यंगस्टर, सो मैं आपको फ्लैट आंसर बस ये दूंगी, अपनी कंपनी आप एकदम अच्छी रखो, सिर्फ अच्छी बातें सुनो। कोई भी अपने, आजकल का डे एंड एज ऐसा है इंटरनेट का, जहाँ पे हर टाइप की इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है, छांटो थोड़ा कि क्या, किस चीज को आप अपनी माइंड देते हो, आप किस चीज को अपनी अटेंशन देते हो, बिकॉज दैट हैज द पावर टू मेक और ब्रेक यू। डू नॉट वॉच एनीथिंग विच इज नेगेटिव, डू नॉट वॉच एनीथिंग विच इज इंटेंस and violence related, anything which is in relation to uh, 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 what is that, the substance abuse, don't get into that, because that will not be good for you. So उन चीजों का थोड़ा आप ध्यान रखो, and anyways अपनी कंपनी का तो बहुत ही ज्यादा ध्यान रखो, and all the best for your future, चौहान जी.
Choose your friends cautiously. So that's a
Absolutely.
suggestion. That's a suggestion from Neha. Neha, more questions coming in. If you suggest, I can take. Otherwise, we'll request, because there is one gentleman, Mr. Sharad Vashish, who has been requesting continuously that please take my question as well. So if you want, I
तो
can.
हम शरद वशिष्ठ जी का लास्ट लेते हैं, and then we'll end
Ji.
the session.
Yeah, definitely. So again, I am requesting all you guys to search Neha Goyal on Instagram, and you can connect with her directly. And otherwise, you can send us your questions. We'll share that with Neha. Sharad Vashish ji का date of birth है Neha 30th August 1978. 30th August 1978.
30th August.
1978, and time of birth is 7:20 a.m.
So 1 second.
Yeah,
1978, and time of birth is
7:20 a.m.
7:20.
a.m.
Okay, please.
शरद जी, आपने प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ नहीं लिखा, अपना अपना प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ बताइएगा.
वेट कर रहे हैं अभी तक, उनको ये नहीं पता चला कि डेट ऑफ प्लेस भी लिखना है.
हाँ, इन्होंने प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ नहीं लिखा अपना.
इतनी देर से आप अगर सुन रहे हो तो आपको पता होना चाहिए अब तक कि आपको प्लेस भी लिखना है. हद होती
Because
है.
there are a lot of messages, so I'm just scrolling down all the messages. Place of birth is Sharad ji. We're just waiting for you to share your place of birth so that we can ask the
Everywhere
question.
date and time, he hasn't written his place of birth, which means आप सुन नहीं रहे हैं शरद जी.
New Delhi.
New
He
Delhi.
has responded New Delhi.
वाओ. शरद जी, आपका अपने फादर से कैसा रिलेशनशिप था, प्लीज मुझे कमेंट्स में बताइए.
शरद जी, आपके
आपकी
फादर
सेवा
का
बनती है,
आपका
आपकी
कैसा रिलेशन?
डेफिनेटली सेवा बनती है उनकी तरफ. एंड एंड वन थिंग दैट आई वुड सजेस्ट टू यू इज कि आप एक सेकेंड. व्हेन इट कम्स टू योर कम्युनिकेशन शरद जी, कई बार, और जब मैं आपका चार्ट भी देख रही हूँ मैम, सो कई बार ये होता है दैट when we are doing readings, निम्मित होते हैं, omens होते हैं, which means that even without the other person telling, you can tell them, even without the other person telling your chart with the nimmits, with the omens, what happens around that person, it tells you a little bit. Sharad ji, there is definitely a concern when it comes to communication. Okay.
Mhm.
So, I would suggest that keep your communication very, very clear. This will go a long way for you. State what you need and say it with love, say it with passion, say it with a
Mhm.
sense of मतलब जिसे कहते हैं ना, lost in translation मत हो जाओ. Choose your words very wisely. Tell me if I'm wrong, that there are certain times when you have a concern with explaining आपको क्या चाहिए. Mind में clear हो आप कि आपको क्या चाहिए, but words में नहीं put कर पाते. Is that true? Please tell me in the comment section. उन्होंने अपने अभी पापा के बारे में भी नहीं बताया कि उनका रिलेशनशिप कैसा था.
Staying with his father, and out of three brothers, he's the only one who is taking care of parents,
Sorry,
father.
what did he say?
He's staying with father, and out of
Hmm.
three brothers, he is the one who is taking care of father and mother.
तो उनका सेवा, वही मैंने बोला, उनका सेवा करना बनता है अपने फादर की तरफ, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ अगर उनसे ईगो क्लैशेस भी होते होंगे. सो वहां पे इट्स अ लेसन फॉर हिम टू जस्ट टोन डाउन हिज ईगो अ लिटिल बिट. एंड यस, इट्स ट्रू, इट हैपेंस विद हिम. ही इज नॉट एबल टू पुट हिज इनर डिजायर्स इनटू वर्ड्स. उसको थोड़ा उसको थोड़ा वर्कआउट करने की जरूरत है, सच दैट वो जो कह रहे हैं, वो जो मीन करते हैं, वो लोग समझें और उस ट्रांसलेशन में वो खो ना जाए. That's what I would like to tell him, and all the best for that.
तो शरद जी, इसके साथ जो है हमने आपके लिए एक रोड मैप, एक गाइडेंस जो है वो नेहा जी ने आपको दिया है। और इसके अलावा अगर बाकी लोगों से भी ये रिक्वेस्ट है, इफ यू वांट टू स्टे इन टच विद नेहा, गो टू हर इंस्टाग्राम, यू कैन फॉलो हर on Instagram. Thanks, Neha. Thank you so much. And this is Vaibhav Maitreya signing off from OOZ Global. Bye bye.
Thank you. Namaskar. Thank you so much for inviting me.